Why are you still broke? No, seriously. Why are you still living paycheck to paycheck, recycling excuses instead of cash? Are you really gonna blame the economy, your boss, or your bad luck one more time? Here's a brutal truth bomb. It's not your circumstances, it's you. Every single day you wake up, go through the motions, and let opportunity walk right past you. You've got ideas, sure, but where's the execution? You're hustling, but are you hustling smart or just staying busy and calling it progress? And let's talk about your money. What's it doing while you're scrolling Instagram or binging Netflix? Is it working for you, or are you too busy blowing it on things that don't matter? Here's the deal. Building wealth isn't some magical process reserved for lucky people. It's about patience, persistence, and showing up for your future self every single day. So let me ask you this. If your daily choices were bricks, are you building an empire or just a pile of rubble? Stay tuned, because what you're about to hear isn't a feel-good fairy tale. It's the hard truth you need to hear if you're serious about breaking out of mediocrity. Let's get to work. Welcome to Self-Mastery Labs. Let's get started. Chapter 1. Ideas are cheap. Execution is everything. Let's get one thing clear. Your brilliant idea means absolutely nothing if you don't do anything with it. I don't care how groundbreaking, innovative, or genius you think it is. Until you roll up your sleeves and get to work, it's just a pipe dream. An idea without execution is like owning a Ferrari with no gas. Sure, it looks impressive, but it's not going anywhere. But my idea is special. Oh, is it? Guess what? There's someone out there with the same or better idea, and they're already 10 steps ahead of you because they're doing something about it. You're sitting around daydreaming while they're out there grinding, testing, failing, and learning. The world doesn't reward ideas, it rewards action. Still not mad? Let's dig deeper. Do you know how many great ideas are born every day? Millions. And do you know how many of them actually become something? A fraction of a percent. Why? Because most people are too lazy, scared, or delusional to put in the effort to bring them to life. It's easy to come up with an idea. It's hard to do the work. That's why execution is everything. Oh, but I don't have the time, resources, or connections. Stop. That's just a fancy way of saying you're looking for excuses. The truth is, you don't need perfect conditions to start. Plenty of wildly successful businesses, inventions, and movements were born out of garages, coffee shops, and late-night hustle sessions. What they didn't have in resources, they made up for in grit. Here's the brutal truth. Nobody cares about your idea until you make it real. You can't pitch a concept and expect the world to bow down to your brilliance. Investors won't throw money at you for a dream. Customers won't pay for your vision. The only thing that matters is results, and results require work. Take the classic light bulb moment. Thomas Edison didn't invent the light bulb by sitting around thinking, wow, wouldn't it be cool if people had light without fire? He and his team tested over 10,000 prototypes before landing on one that worked. 10,000. That's execution. That's persistence. Your brilliant idea wouldn't last 10 attempts, let alone 10,000. But what if I fail? Here's a better question. What if you never try? Failure is part of the process. Execution is messy, uncomfortable, and full of setbacks, but every failure teaches you something. Every misstep brings you closer to success. Sitting on your idea, waiting for the perfect time, guarantees one thing: you'll never get anywhere. Think about the people you admire: entrepreneurs, artists, inventors, leaders. Do you know what they all have in common? They didn't just think of something cool and call it a day. They executed relentlessly. Steve Jobs didn't dream up the iPhone and go take a nap. He obsessed over every detail, every flaw, every iteration until it became reality. That's the difference between visionaries and wannabes. Action. Now let's get real. Your idea isn't as unique as you think it is. Sorry to burst your bubble, but there are 1,000 other people out there with similar thoughts. The race to success isn't about having the best idea, it's about being the first and the best to execute. If you're not moving, someone else is. They'll take your concept, make it better, and leave you in the dust wondering, why didn't I do that? And let's not forget the biggest punchline. You'll probably end up buying their product or service because they had the guts to do what you didn't. How's that for irony? So, what's it gonna be? Are you gonna keep telling everyone about your game-changing idea while doing absolutely nothing to make it real? Or are you gonna wake up, get uncomfortable, and put in the work? Because let me tell you, the world doesn't give participation trophies for good ideas. It rewards those who execute, who persevere, and who make things happen. Ideas are cheap. Execution is everything. And if you're not willing to execute, your idea is worthless. Harsh? Maybe. True? Absolutely. So stop talking, start doing, and prove that your idea is worth something. Until then, it's just hot air. Chapter 2. Solve systems, not just problems. Stop breaking your back and start cracking the code. Let's cut to the chase. If your approach to making money is solving problems one by one, you're hustling backwards. You're playing checkers in a world that demands chess. Making real money isn't about putting out fires. It's about building the fireproof house. It's about systems, not scrambling to fix every little issue that comes your way. If this doesn't sit well with you, good. Let's ruffle some feathers. Here's the deal. Problem solvers are necessary, but system solvers are rich. You can spend your whole life fixing one problem at a time. How do I make rent this month? How do I meet this deadline? How do I stop my boss from breathing down my neck? And guess what? Next week, there's a whole new set of problems waiting for you because you're stuck in an endless loop. Congratulations, you've become the hamster on the wheel of mediocrity. Now, let's talk about systems. Systems are how the rich, the successful, and the game changers operate. They don't just fix problems, they engineer solutions that eliminate those problems forever. They create processes, automations, and frameworks that keep the money rolling in without their constant involvement. They're not working harder, they're working smarter. Meanwhile, you're over here sweating bullets trying to reinvent the wheel every day. Let me spell it out for you. Solving problems makes you a worker. Solving systems makes you a boss. But I'm a hard worker. Oh, good for you. You and 7 billion other people. Working hard is the bare minimum. It's what the system wants you to do. It keeps you busy, distracted, and too tired to realize that you're spinning your wheels for someone else's benefit. True wealth doesn't come from busting your ass. It comes from building systems that make money while you sleep. Still not fuming? Let me give you a visual. Picture a plumber. Every day, they get calls to fix leaky faucets, broken pipes, and clogged drains. They're solving problems and they're getting paid for it. Cool, right? Now, picture the guy who owns the plumbing company. He's not fixing the leaks. He built a system where he hires plumbers, takes a cut of every job, and expands his business into multiple cities. The plumber is trading time for money. The owner is printing money because he cracked the code. Now ask yourself, are you the plumber or are you the owner? Oh, but I don't know how to build systems. That's not a valid excuse. You weren't born knowing how to walk, talk, or drive, but you figured it out. Building systems isn't rocket science. It's a mindset shift. Instead of asking, how do I solve this problem? Start asking, how do I ensure this problem never comes up again? Instead of saying, how do I make money this week? Ask, how do I create a system that generates income every week? Here's another hard truth. The people who build systems aren't necessarily smarter than you. They're just thinking bigger. While you're stuck in the weeds, they're looking at the whole damn garden and figuring out how to automate the watering, the pruning, and the harvesting. They understand that time is the ultimate currency, and they refuse to waste it solving the same problems over and over. Systems scale, problem solving doesn't. Let me break it down. If you're solving problems one at a time, your income is capped by how many problems you can tackle in a day. Systems, on the other hand, multiply your efforts. They work for you 24/7, whether you're grinding or golfing. That's the difference between hustling to pay the bills and building generational wealth. Let's talk about why this mindset pisses people off. It's because most people are addicted to busyness. They equate working hard with being successful, even if their hard work isn't moving them forward. The idea of stepping back to build a system feels counterintuitive. It feels lazy, but let me tell you, there's nothing lazy about designing a machine that works for you. It's the ultimate flex. But what kind of systems are we talking about? Glad you asked. Here's a hint. If you're doing the same task over and over, you're a candidate for system building. Are you always chasing clients? Build a marketing funnel. Are you stuck managing every aspect of your side hustle? Automate the repetitive tasks. Are you constantly trading your time for money? Create an asset, whether it's a course, an ebook, or a rental property that earns money without you. At the end of the day, solving systems is about freedom. Freedom from the grind, freedom from stress, and freedom to focus on what really matters. It's about breaking the cycle of trading time for money and stepping into the realm of limitless income. So, here's the question. Are you going to keep solving problems like a hamster on a wheel, or are you going to crack the code and build the systems that set you free? Because the grind will never stop on its own. You have to step up, think bigger, and make it happen. Solve systems, not just problems. Anything less and you're choosing to stay stuck. Chapter 3. Invest over half of your income or stay stagnant. Play the game right or don't play at all. Let me guess. You think you're doing just fine because you put a measly 5%, maybe 10% of your income into investments, right? You probably even pat yourself on the back for being so responsible. Hate to break it to you, but you're not building wealth. You're treading water in a kiddie pool. If you're not investing at least half of your income, you're coasting. And coasting is a slow, miserable ride to nowhere. Half my income? Are you insane? No, I'm not insane. I'm realistic. And if that number makes you uncomfortable, it's because you've been playing small your entire life. Investing isn't just some side hustle for the rich. It's the foundation of financial freedom. Every dollar you don't invest is a dollar wasted. Full stop. Let's be real. Most people are addicted to spending. You earn a paycheck and it's gone before you know it. Rent, food, subscriptions, clothes, and let's not forget the endless stream of treat yourself purchases. But here's the truth you don't want to hear. The more you spend on stuff, the more you chain yourself to a paycheck. Meanwhile, the people who are actually getting ahead, they're living lean and funneling most of their income into investments that grow while they sleep. But I can't afford to invest half my income. Can't afford to or don't want to? Let's break this down. If you're making $50,000 a year, investing half means putting $25,000 toward your future. Sounds impossible, right? Wrong. It's all about priorities. You don't need the latest phone, the newest car, or a bigger apartment. You need assets that pay you back. Still not mad? Let me hit you with this. Every time you choose to spend instead of invest, you're choosing stagnation over growth. You're saying, I'm fine with being average. And average isn't just uninspiring, it's a trap. Inflation is eating your savings, your job isn't guaranteed, and retirement isn't going to magically fund itself. If you're not aggressively investing, you're setting yourself up to work forever. Think about the rich. Do you think they're out here spending 90% of their income on Starbucks and streaming services? Hell no. They're buying stocks, real estate, businesses, and assets that make them money. They're not focused on flexing today, they're focused on dominating tomorrow. Meanwhile, you're stressing over how to make it to your next payday. Here's the kicker. Investing half your income isn't just about money, it's about mindset. It forces you to think long-term, to value freedom over fleeting pleasures. It teaches you discipline and gives you the power to walk away from jobs, people, and situations that don't serve you. Because when your investments are working harder than you are, you're no longer a slave to a paycheck. But what if I don't have that kind of money to invest? Then make more. Yeah, I said it. Stop settling for an income that barely covers your bills. Get a side hustle, learn a high-income skill, start a business, do whatever it takes to increase your earnings, because the higher your income, the easier it is to hit that 50% investment goal without feeling the pinch. Here's the part that will really sting. If you don't invest half your income, someone else is, and they're the ones who will retire early, live comfortably, and leave a legacy while you're stuck grinding until the day you die. You think the system is unfair? It's not. It's just rigged in favor of those who play it smart. Investing isn't optional if you want to win. It's not some nice-to-have luxury. It's a non-negotiable. And if you're not putting at least half of your earnings into assets, you're volunteering to stay broke. Harsh? Sure. But it's the reality check most people need. So, what's it going to be? Are you going to keep blowing your money on things that lose value the second you buy them? Or are you going to grow up, get serious, and start playing the game to win? Because the clock is ticking, and every day you're not investing is a day you're falling behind. Invest over half of your income or stay stagnant. It's that simple. The choice is yours. Just don't complain when you see others thriving while you're stuck in the same damn spot. Chapter 4. Never borrow unless it builds more wealth. Stop committing financial suicide. Oh, so you think debt is just a part of life? You've been conned. Let me guess, you're out here taking on debt for all the wrong reasons. A shiny car, a house that's too big for your income, or a vacation you deserve. Here's the harsh truth. Borrowing money for anything that doesn't make you more money is the financial equivalent of jumping off a cliff and hoping you can grow wings before you hit the ground. Spoiler alert, you won't. Debt that doesn't generate more cash flow is a one-way ticket to Brokeville. Population, you. It's financial suicide, plain and simple. You're not treating yourself. You're chaining yourself to a future of stress and servitude. And for what? A fleeting moment of satisfaction? A car that loses value the second you drive it off the lot? A kitchen remodel that won't pay the bills when you're drowning in credit card interest? But I need it now. No, you don't. You want it now because you're impatient and think you're entitled to live above your means. Let me make this painfully clear. Borrowing money for stuff that doesn't grow your net worth is the dumbest financial move you can make. It's like setting your wallet on fire and wondering why you're broke. Here's the thing. Not all debt is created equal. There's good debt, the kind that puts more money in your pocket, and there's bad debt, the kind that drains you dry. Good debt builds wealth. It's a tool, it's strategic. Think real estate investments, business loans with a clear return, or student loans that lead to high-paying careers. Bad debt, on the other hand, is a financial death trap. It's what you take on to keep up with the Joneses, who, by the way, are just as broke as you are. Oh, but I'm building credit. Stop. Using bad debt to build credit is like smoking cigarettes to lose weight. It's destructive and short-sighted. A high credit score doesn't mean you're rich, it means you're good at borrowing money. Congratulations, you're the bank's favorite kind of sucker. Let me hit you with this. Every dollar you borrow for a non-wealth building purpose is a dollar stolen from your future. You're robbing yourself blind, trading long-term security for short-term gratification. And the worst part? You're paying interest on your own stupidity. That $5,000 vacation you charge to your credit card, by the time you pay it off, it will have cost you $7,000. Was the trip worth it? Still not fuming? Let's dig deeper. Do you know who loves it when you borrow money for useless stuff? The banks, the lenders, the credit card companies. They're getting rich off your inability to control yourself. You're their cash cow, their meal ticket. Every time you swipe your card for something that doesn't build wealth, you're lining their pockets while emptying yours. Want an example of smart borrowing? Look at the wealthiest people you admire. They don't borrow to splurge, they borrow to invest. They take calculated risks that generate returns. They use other people's money to build businesses, acquire properties, or fund ventures that multiply their wealth. That's how you play the game. Borrowing for anything else? That's how you lose. But I needed a new car. No, you didn't. You needed reliable transportation, not a shiny status symbol with a 72-month loan attached to it. There's a big difference. Borrowing for a luxury car when you're not wealthy is like wearing designer shoes while your bank account is in overdraft. It looks good for a second, but it's downright embarrassing when the truth comes out. Here's a challenge for you. The next time you're tempted to borrow money for something, ask yourself one question. Will this make me richer? If the answer is no, step away, put the credit card down, walk out of the dealership, cancel the unnecessary expense, because every time you say yes to bad debt, you're saying no to your future. Debt isn't inherently bad, it's how you use it that matters. Borrow to invest, to grow, to build something that pays dividends. Never borrow to impress, indulge, or pretend. That's how you break the cycle of paycheck to paycheck living and start building real wealth. So, what's it gonna be? Are you gonna keep borrowing for nonsense and wonder why you're stuck in the same financial rut year after year? Or are you gonna wake up, get disciplined, and start making borrowing work for you? Because if you don't learn this lesson now, the only thing you'll be building with your debt is regret. Never borrow unless it builds wealth. Anything else is just financial suicide. And if that stings, good. It means you needed to hear it. Chapter 5. Stop dreaming of overnight success and start laying the damn foundation. Listen up, because this one's gonna hit you where it hurts. Your bank account isn't empty because the universe is unfair. It's empty because you're sitting around expecting to get rich quick instead of putting in the consistent, boring, unsexy work it takes to build real wealth. You think you're the exception to the rule, don't you? That you're going to stumble upon a golden ticket, win the lottery, or create the next billion-dollar app overnight? Hate to break it to you, but that's a fantasy. Real wealth, it's built brick by brick. Oh, but you don't have the patience, right? I want to enjoy my money now, you say. Funny, because that's exactly why you're broke. You're so obsessed with instant gratification, new clothes, fancy dinners, that overpriced phone you didn't need, that you're too short-sighted to realize that every dollar you blow today is a dollar you're stealing from your future self. Let's talk about Rome. You know, the empire that took centuries to build and change the course of history? Yeah, that wasn't thrown together in a weekend by someone binge-watching Netflix and scrolling TikTok. It was built steadily, over time, with effort, planning, and resilience. Wealth works the same way. Every dollar you save, invest, and grow is a brick. And if you're not laying bricks every day, guess what? You'll never have your empire. But I want it now. Cool story. Wanting it now is why you're still working that soul-sucking job, struggling to pay your bills, and fantasizing about someone else's success on Instagram. Meanwhile, the people who are building wealth, they're out there grinding every single day, stacking small wins that compound over time. They're not in a rush because they know the race isn't about speed, it's about endurance. Here's where it gets even spicier. Patience isn't just a virtue, it's a financial superpower. Compound interest doesn't work overnight. Investments don't triple in value the moment you hit buy. Businesses don't become profitable the second you launch them. If you're not willing to play the long game, you're not even in the game. You're just a spectator, watching other people build their empires while you sit on the sidelines whining about how it's taking too long. And persistence? Let's talk about that. You love the idea of success until it demands effort, discipline, and consistency. Then suddenly, it's too hard or not worth it. Guess what? Quitting is the only guarantee you'll fail. Every time you give up because things aren't happening fast enough, you're tearing down your own bricks. You're sabotaging your own future because you can't handle delayed gratification. Oh, but I don't have time to build wealth. Really? You don't have time to invest in yourself, but you have time to binge watch TV, scroll social media, and complain about being broke? You have time to waste, but no time to work on a side hustle, learn a new skill, or set up a budget. Miss me with that excuse. The truth is you do have time. You're just choosing to waste it. Building wealth brick by brick isn't glamorous. It's not flashy, it's slow, methodical, and often downright boring. But you know what it is? Effective. It's how fortunes are made. Every savings deposit, every investment, every calculated risk is a step toward the life you claim you want. Still not convinced? Let me spell it out. If you're not willing to build wealth brick by brick, one day at a time, then stop fantasizing about financial freedom. Stop complaining about your situation because you're choosing it. Every empire starts with a single brick. If you're not laying one today, you're guaranteeing that you'll still be in the same spot tomorrow. So, what's it gonna be? Are you gonna stop whining and start building? Or are you gonna keep wishing for someone else to hand you the life you want? Because here's the thing, no one's coming to save you. The only way out is up. And the only way up is to build your damn ladder. Brick by brick, day by day. Patience and persistence win the race. And if you're not willing to embrace them, don't be surprised when you lose. Alright, let's get real. You've got the information, you've been called out. Now the question is, what are you gonna do about it? Because if you just clicked off this video and go back to scrolling, nothing changes. That brilliant idea, still just hot air. Your income, still capped, your empire still a dream. So what's the next brick you're going to lay? What's the one action you're taking today to start building your fortune? Don't tell me you're waiting for motivation. That's for amateurs. Share it in the comments below, because talking about action is the first step toward actually taking it. And if you're too scared to admit your goals out loud, well, that says everything about why you're stuck. Don't forget, this is the real test. Ideas don't build wealth. Excuses don't build wealth. Execution does. So stop letting fear, laziness, or comfort hold you hostage. Get your priorities straight, and for the love of progress, don't waste another second playing small. Like this video if it gave you the push you needed, or the slap in the face you deserved. Subscribe for more hard truths, and hit that bell so you don't miss the next dose of reality. Now go, start stacking bricks.